Ever wondered if your thinking skills are deteriorating as you age? In fact, a surprising study reveals that around 20% of older adults experience cognitive decline that affects their decision-making and judgment. So, what signs should you look out for to determine if you or someone else is starting to show signs of poor judgment in old age? In this video, we'll discuss 5 crucial warning signs of a stupid person in their later years, whether it's in their actions, their thinking, or their approach to life. Keep watching to understand how these behaviors can be prevented or managed before it's too late. As we age, our cognitive abilities can change in ways we might not always recognize at first. While it's normal to have occasional forgetfulness or moments of confusion, there are specific behaviors that could signal a deeper issue with decision-making or judgment. In this video, we'll break down the 5 signs of poor thinking or poor decisions that could indicate cognitive decline, and more importantly, what you can do to stay sharp as you grow older. After watching, you'll have a better understanding of how to protect your mental health and avoid behaviors that might make you seem less wise in your later years. Sign point 1. Constantly making impulsive decisions. One of the most obvious signs that someone may be struggling with cognitive decline in old age is a shift toward impulsive decision-making. As we age, the brain's ability to control impulses and make thoughtful, long-term decisions can deteriorate. This happens because the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, judgment, and self-control, loses some of its effectiveness. When this occurs, individuals may begin to make hasty decisions without properly weighing the consequences, something that could have been avoided in their earlier years. This decline in decision-making ability is not just a matter of bad judgment, but it can also have serious consequences. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that the prefrontal cortex begins to lose its cognitive flexibility around the age of 60. This means the brain becomes less adept at switching between different tasks or thinking through complex situations. Instead, older adults may rely more on immediate emotional reactions, leading to rash decisions. Impulsivity in decision-making is linked to poor financial choices, risky health behaviors, and even strained relationships. Consider the example of Greg, a 70-year-old man who had always been cautious with money but suddenly decided to buy an expensive, unproven stock after a casual conversation with a friend. Greg had never been interested in stocks before, nor had he researched the company or its financial health. A few months later, the stock value plummeted, and Greg lost a significant portion of his savings. When his family inquired about his decision, Greg admitted he hadn't thought it through. He had simply been swept up in the excitement of the conversation. This impulsive decision was a clear sign that Greg's ability to make reasoned choices had diminished, likely due to aging. Scientific evidence and real-life stories like Greg's show that as we age, our decision-making skills can be significantly impacted by the decline in brain function. While we may not always be able to avoid this natural process, understanding the risks of impulsive decisions can help us make more informed choices and seek help when necessary to prevent harm to our financial, physical, and emotional well-being. Sign 2. Rejecting help or advice. A key indicator of cognitive decline in older adults is the tendency to reject help or advice, even when it is clear that assistance is needed. As people age, they may experience a gradual decrease in self-awareness, which can make it difficult for them to recognize their limitations. This can result in stubbornness, where they refuse to accept help from others, even when it's in their best interest. The refusal to accept help is not necessarily a reflection of pride, but rather a sign that their cognitive abilities may be compromised, particularly their insight and judgment. The brain's ability to evaluate one's own state diminishes with age. Research in the Journal of Aging and Health suggests that as cognitive functions weaken, many older adults struggle with what's known as anosognosia, which is the lack of awareness of their own health condition. This often manifests as a resistance to accepting help or acknowledging that they are unable to manage daily tasks alone. In some cases, this inability to recognize one's limitations can lead to dangerous situations, such as neglecting medical conditions or declining necessary treatments. The more someone resists help, the more they may put themselves at risk for accidents, health complications, or emotional distress. For instance, consider the story of Helen, a 74-year-old woman who had been living independently for years. Her children noticed that she was struggling with basic tasks, such as cooking and managing her medication, but every time they suggested hiring someone to help or offering their own assistance, she would become defensive. Helen would insist that she was fine and didn't need any help, despite clear signs of forgetfulness and confusion. One day, she even forgot to take her insulin, which resulted in a serious health scare. It wasn't until Helen's doctor intervened and explained the risks of refusing help that she reluctantly agreed to accept assistance. This situation highlighted how Helen's inability to recognize her own limitations was a result of cognitive decline, and the refusal to accept help was, in essence, a sign of her cognitive struggles. Helen's case is an example of how older adults, when faced with cognitive changes, may resist help because they can no longer accurately assess their own condition. It's important for family members to recognize this behavior and approach the situation with understanding, offering gentle encouragement while prioritizing safety and well-being. Sign 3. Forgetting basic safety protocols. A common sign of cognitive decline in older adults is the failure to remember or adhere to basic safety protocols. As we age, the brain's ability to retain and recall important information, especially when it comes to everyday tasks and safety measures, can significantly weaken. This can manifest in a variety of ways: forgetting to lock doors, leaving the stove on, neglecting to take prescribed medications, or failing to recognize potential hazards in the home. These lapses in memory or judgment are more than just minor forgetfulness. They can create serious risks for the individual's safety and well-being. The science behind this decline lies in the brain's reduced capacity to form new memories, particularly in the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory consolidation. Research has shown that as people age, especially in the presence of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, the hippocampus experiences a reduction in size and functionality, impairing memory retention and recall. A study published in JAMA Neurology found that older adults with significant cognitive impairment are more likely to forget daily routines and safety protocols, leading to a higher risk of accidents and injuries. Take the story of Ed, a 77-year-old man living alone. Over the past few months, his family began noticing that he would leave his oven on after cooking, or forget to lock the front door when he went to bed. At first, his daughter chalked it up to the occasional moment of absent-mindedness, but the frequency of these incidents began to increase. One day, Ed's daughter found that he had left a pot on the stove for several hours while he took a nap. Luckily, nothing serious happened, but it was a clear sign that Ed was no longer able to remember basic safety protocols, putting him at risk. After a visit to his doctor, Ed was diagnosed with early-stage dementia, which affected his ability to recall routine safety steps. Ed's experience underscores how cognitive decline can directly impact memory and safety. As individuals age, it's crucial to monitor for signs of memory loss, especially when it comes to daily safety practices. Regular check-ins and creating a supportive environment can help prevent accidents and ensure that seniors continue to live safely and independently for as long as possible. Sign 4. Isolating themselves from social interactions. Social isolation is another major sign that can indicate cognitive decline in older adults. As people age, the natural tendency to withdraw from social interactions can become more pronounced, often as a result of decreased cognitive abilities, physical limitations, or emotional struggles. However, when this withdrawal becomes extreme, it can be a warning sign that something more serious is at play. Seniors who begin to avoid social gatherings, decline invitations, or avoid interacting with family and friends may be showing a loss of social engagement, which is not only detrimental to mental health but also to cognitive function. Research consistently shows that social interaction is essential for maintaining cognitive health in older adults. According to a study published in the Journal of Gerontology, seniors who remain socially active have a lower risk of developing cognitive decline and dementia. Engaging with others helps keep the brain active, promotes positive emotions, and even provides mental stimulation, all of which contribute to preserving cognitive function. On the other hand, those who experience prolonged social isolation are more likely to develop mental health issues such as depression and anxiety, which can exacerbate cognitive decline. Consider the story of Margaret, an 80-year-old woman who had always been very active in her community. She regularly attended church services, volunteered at local events, and enjoyed hosting family gatherings. But over the course of a year, her family noticed that Margaret had started declining invitations and avoiding social events. At first, they thought it was just her age catching up with her, but then her behavior became more noticeable. She stopped participating in conversations, seemed disoriented in familiar settings, and struggled to remember details she once knew well. Margaret's withdrawal from socializing wasn't just about physical tiredness or a desire for solitude, it was a sign that her cognitive health was deteriorating. After a visit to her doctor, Margaret was diagnosed with early-stage dementia, and her family realized that her isolation had been a symptom of this condition. Margaret's experience highlights how social withdrawal can sometimes be a subtle sign of deeper cognitive issues. While some degree of solitude is normal as we age, significant withdrawal or avoidance of social interactions can signal the need for further evaluation. Ensuring that older adults maintain social connections and are encouraged to engage in mentally stimulating activities is crucial in helping to preserve both mental and emotional well-being. Sign 5. Difficulty in adapting to new technology or information as we age. One of the signs of cognitive decline that often goes unnoticed is the growing difficulty in adapting to new technology or information. While it's normal to feel overwhelmed by new advancements or systems, older adults experiencing cognitive issues might find it increasingly difficult to grasp or even try new concepts, especially when it involves technology. The brain's ability to process and retain new information slows down with age, particularly in the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex, which are key regions responsible for memory formation, learning, and decision-making. This can make even simple technological changes feel like insurmountable obstacles. Studies have shown that cognitive decline, including conditions like Alzheimer's disease, can lead to significant challenges in learning new things. Research published in Cognitive Aging and Neuropsychology indicates that older adults with mild cognitive impairment, MCI, or early-stage dementia often struggle with learning new skills, especially those that require the integration of multiple steps or the use of unfamiliar tools. This is because, as we age, the brain's neural networks that help store and retrieve new information become less efficient, leading to an increased sense of frustration and resistance. Take the example of Frank, a 72-year-old man who had always prided himself on staying current with technology. He had used a computer and mobile phone for years but found himself completely overwhelmed when his family encouraged him to start using a smartphone with advanced features. Frank struggled to grasp how to send messages, use apps, or even set up basic functions like notifications. Initially, he was eager to learn, but after several unsuccessful attempts, he became increasingly frustrated and simply gave up. His family noticed his growing reluctance to try anything new, not just with technology, but with other areas of life as well, including taking new medication or adjusting to changes in his routine. This inability to adapt wasn't just about disinterest, it was a sign of early cognitive decline. Frank's experience illustrates how cognitive decline can manifest in an older person's inability to adjust to technological advancements. While some degree of difficulty with new technology is normal for anyone, especially as they age, persistent refusal or frustration with even simple learning tasks could be an indication that deeper cognitive issues are at play. It's important for family members and caregivers to offer patience, support, and alternatives that can help older adults stay engaged, without pushing them too far beyond their comfort zone. As you've seen, there are several key signs that may indicate cognitive decline in older adults. These signs, impulsive decision-making, refusing help, forgetting safety protocols, isolating oneself, and struggling with new technology, are important to recognize early. Understanding these behaviors can help you make adjustments to support mental and physical health as you age. It's never too late to take steps to improve cognitive function, and knowing what to watch for can help prevent further deterioration. Make sure to watch the entire video, don't skip any points. Each of these signs is important, and missing one could lead to a missed opportunity to make a positive change. Share this video with others who might benefit from these insights, and let's work together to promote better health and mental awareness in our later years. Stay sharp, stay connected, and stay active. Your mind is one of your greatest assets. Protect it, and it will serve you well.